Thank you, everybody. Apologies about all the changes in the time that we were supposed to start. It was supposed to be a few days ago, and then a lot of things happened there and happened there. Yesterday, we actually had to change the time a couple times, and then today, with it being Valentine. So, first off, happy Valentine to everybody. Oh, if anyone out there, if you're watching it live or if you're actually going to watch it later. Um, we are filming at the Spot. A quick plug in for the Spot. The Spot is a place for business incubators, nonprofits. If you're looking to create content, you want to do more content for your social media, for your brand, for an idea, anything that you have, it's a great place. I'm helping out here a ton. There's a few other people that come and help out here a ton. So we'd love to be able to help anybody who's looking to build your brand, build just your following, looking for fun, innovative ideas to do. And a quick disclaimer, the Spot has actually let me use this, and I talked to a few of the owners here at the Spot and let them know this idea. So this is a new idea, a live stream idea, without any of the filters, without any of the editing. It's just going live, and we'll be doing it as often as there's interest in it, as often as people want to do this. Being live and being, just a little unpredictable when it's live, things happen. They want to make sure that, and also being kind of the content that we're, or the discussion matter that we're going to be talking about, they want to make sure that we're not doing anything that would negatively reflect on the Spot, on what they're trying to do here with content creation. They have a variety of clients from all walks of life, everything that you can know and see. And, so this is the disclaimer. You hear all those disclaimers all the time that the opinions expressed here do not necessarily reflect that of, well, that's this disclaimer. Like what we'll be talking about here, subject matter and all of that, does not reflect the Spot, the management of the Spot, the owners, and the goal of the Spot. And so we're just going to kind of talk about this. Well, and now we're trying to we'll just hop right into it. This is a new streaming that we're going to do called Philosopher's Stone. And the Philosopher's Stone is the idea. Well, for those of you who don't know what the Philosopher's Stone is, and maybe some of you, I know that if you're a Harry Potter fan, they mention the Philosopher's Stone in Harry Potter. If you're into philosophy or kind of esoterica, but the idea of the Philosopher's Stone, and this is why the purpose of what we're doing here with the live stream, is that we're trying to get to something of value. And in alchemy, the idea that was the Philosopher's Stone was something that could turn any metal into gold, right? I think gold was valued back then. So of course, the Philosopher's Stone was something that was highly sought after. And there's a lot of descriptions of what that can look like if you look in, even some of the pre-Socratic philosophers talked about it. But sometimes it was depicted as a crystal. Sometimes it was depicted, as a stone being red, white, black, and yellow, I think, or kind of like the main ones. So the background of there and actually, alchemy was a practice of science. We may not consider alchemy science now, in the way that we look at alchemy, probably not in the scientific circles is going to be regarded as the same that it was then, but it really was taking physical items and trying to figure out, metalworking, all kinds of things there. So it is, alchemy does have roots in, a lot of the scientific methods that we use. And, that's kind of one of so the Philosopher's Stone is not necessarily like this, esoteric or even mystic stone, and it can be, but there, there was some root in science there. So logic is an area of philosophy, and so the Philosopher's Stone could fall into logic. A lot of the alchemists were experimenting, trying using very similar uh, methods that we would call the scientific method today. But there is a very mystic part of the Philosopher's Stone as well. You'll hear it as sometimes the fifth element with earth, wind, fire, and water, and then the Philosopher's Stone, you'll hear reference to that and the fifth element kind of being the same. So there was this mystic realm of it as well, and mysticism can go into spirituality, can go into magic, well, kind of whatever you want to use it or say. There's obviously some differences when you get in more colloquial usages of that and academic usages of that. But then, another part of the Philosopher's Stone was a little esoteric, right? The Philosopher's Stone was regarded as a seer's stone, and oftentimes you would see depictions of people holding the Philosopher's Stone to their forehead to represent the third eye, usually kind of here in the middle of the forehead. And you'll even see some practices today within those that have like esoteric traditions, or like an esoterica, or even mysticism will have philosopher's stones as something that is used to grant wisdom to the consciousness, or to project the consciousness. So it's kind of this pathway both from the conscious out and from out into the consciousness, which actually falls again great into philosophy, with alchemy being a form of logic, and mysticism, spirituality, that kind of being a form of metaphysics. And then with esoterica and sometimes we call this secret knowledge, some would call it sacred knowledge, some would call it hidden knowledge, gets into epistemology. And so all that kind of getting back around to the purpose of this live stream with the Philosopher's Stone is it really is to take and change whatever is brought to this table or brought to this stream and change it into something of value. Now, for me specifically, like, I'm looking to see what people's truth are. I think there's some value to truth, and there's some value to also people's truth. So, this is a call out to everybody that's out there. If you want to come and share your truth, speak your truth, this is a great place to do it. We back then, the Philosopher's Stone, the thing they had value, if you're an alchemist, was gold. Gold was this very valuable metal. And so, of course, if you had this element or this stone that could take iron or whatever the other metals out there that you had this abundance of, and you could turn it into gold, that would be something of value. So when you look at what people have value, gold was valuable there because gold means money, and some people value money to this day. So and you would say most societies and governments, and especially economic systems, are built around some sort of monetary exchange. And then people valued knowledge, so that's why the Philosopher's Stone was used in kind of esoterica, and those that were looking for sacred knowledge or hidden knowledge, or whatever you want to call it, secret, those kind of things there. And then with the mystic realm of the Philosopher's Stone kind of just being the fifth element, however you want to, truth, if however you want to put it in there, and then there, metaphysics, this something that can't necessarily be explained in the same sort of way, but it's beyond the physics. And so that's the call out to anybody that was wanting to share their truth. So if you've ever said, my philosophy is ... this would be a great place for you to come. You hear people like, my philosophy in life is blah, blah, blah. And I know, like in academic circles, people hate that because, like, oh no, that's not a philosophy. That's just a saying, or a little colloquialism, or something that just people say. If it's philosophy, academic philosophy, it needs this, it needs an ontology, it needs the teleology, it needs all these terms that maybe necessarily those outside academia might not understand or appreciate, and maybe sometimes that's one of the critiques of academia is it kind of goes beyond what just the working class or the average person. It kind of becomes its own sort of form of esoterica or elitism. So, and then also vice versa, if you're an academic and you want to come here and say, no, there's a value to having a definition of this word mean this, and here's why, and everything. It's another place where you can share and spread truth and talk about that truth. I think my job here is to really kind of, anytime someone were to come in, or even if it's just myself talking, to really analyze and see what that truth is. And so I might ask questions if you come in here, and maybe dig and prod, like, and kind of get a little deeper into where this root of this truth is. But if you're one of those people that say, I'm living my truth, come in here, tell us what this truth is you're living. I would love to know what this is that you're living, and this truth. And you say, my truth is XYZ. Let's see what that truth is. And if you're willing and wanting to share that truth on live TV without editing, without being scripted, right? It would be a fun thing to go do that. And that's we have some ideas set up, like to get into some intellectual sparring, so you can see some items here on the table, and those are kind of to represent different ideas of we want it to be fun, kind of like a sport, right? This isn't anything too deep, and we do want it to be people's truth, so when someone comes in, to hear what it is that you really value as truth. And if it's money, great, tell us how you make all this money, or whatever it is. And then if you're someone that doesn't believe in truth at all, you say there is no truth, that's also great. Come in here. That's we want to hear how things aren't true. And if we're valuing truth, that sometimes the biggest value of X is not X. So anyway, inviting everybody out there, a place to just come in, academic, non-academic, crazy idea. Not if you have a hot take, come in here, tell your hot take. We'll try to referee it a little bit. We don't want people just coming here spewing all sorts of whatever. But I think if the plan and the purpose of the Philosopher's Stone is to transform it, maybe come in here with your ore, we'll see if we can get that gold out of there, so to speak, kind of to use the old alchemist purpose. Or if you come in with rusty iron, we'll see if we can turn it into some gold, or some knowledge, or something mystical or spiritual. Again, quick plug for the spot. I appreciate them. Again, I was trying to do this on Thursday, ended up having some things. The spot is a place, if really quickly, just to plug it out again, if you're looking to start a business, they are currently in the process of, right over here, building 2 more offices and studios. So if you're looking for an affordable place to start up an idea, start up a brand, start up a following, any of that stuff, do it here. And the spot can do everything from high-end content, graphics, usage of AI editing, compressing, all that stuff, to something just as basic as this. It's just a camera that you go live on and talk, right? There's no graphics on this, and I don't know, at least at this point, we're not going to probably be using any graphics. We might do some like post recording and like the editing, if we want to create a video that's a little more refined, we might jump into some graphics. But for all I could be the most advanced AI, and this is nothing more than just an AI generated person, and you don't know unless you come in here. I might be AI. So let's see, if you are wanting to go live or wanting to come in as a guest, tell our truth, you can. For those that that may have more of like an alchemist background or tradition, or Harry Potter or whatever, you might think the Philosopher's Stone is oftentimes depicted as a red crystal, kind of glowing orb crystal type thing. But here is actually the Philosopher's Stone right here. So this thing right here is the Philosopher's Stone. And so if you want to even just come in and hold and touch the Philosopher's Stone, they've been looking for it for thousands and thousands and thousands of years, but this is the Philosopher's Stone. And let me set that right there. Yeah. We'll see you again on Philosopher's Stone. And check out the spot. Follow the spot on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube. Come in or talk to the people at the spot. They're knowledgeable way more than I am, and I want to get some of them on the show too, because they have a lot more knowledge that could potentially be truth than I have, and it would be fun to convince them to get here and share it. Yeah, a couple days ago, there was even one of them was here, and we were trying to go live then, but they didn't want to get live and on the camera. But I'll work on them and get some people out here, so it's not just me spewing what I think is truth or knowledge. And yeah, follow the spot, like the spot, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. If you want to follow some of the different deals we have, feel free to find us on LinkedIn. And we will see you next time on Philosopher's Stone.